So hey everybody, this is going to be a slightly different video today. I think I'd go back and do a review. So this is more like a review, first impressions, comparison, mash together video thing on Magi. I'm going to say Magi because that's how I feel like it should be pronounced. Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic. Now this is an anime and manga which has been, I think, beginning of this year it started. Well, the anime, started sometime early this year, I think. And I have read the first volume and just watched the first two episodes. So, yeah, it was interesting. I like the premise. So, basically, the premise is Aladdin and Alibaba, two friends, are going on an adventure to go through these dungeons. These dungeons are things that have appeared all throughout the world and that have magical artifacts within them that can have some magical powers. Some hold jinns, and Aladdin has a flute which contains a jinn. However, he has no retention of his past or whatever. So, yes. So the first episode is kind of fast, actually, because since I read the manga first, everything seemed well paced throughout the about, I want to say 10, 12 chapters that there were, and everything seemed paced out, and it was not slow, but it was just the right amount, so you could get a picture of the world that they were in, the people that are there. But within the manga, anime, sorry, they have to chunk everything down to make sure it fits within a certain number of episodes. But literally, it started up. There was like a little intro scene away from the world with Ugo, which is the djinn inside Aladdin's flute, and Aladdin, and then there is a scene where you get introduced to Alibaba, who wants to go and take on dungeons, and then goes to his cart because he is like a courier of some sort to find Aladdin eating all of his watermelons. He's not very happy about that, and instantly it's like, I'm Aladdin, I'm Alibaba. They have a little bit of a fight, but then they're together, and by the end of the episode they're friends pretty much. And like I thought that was a bit too fast, because like they literally have no knowledge of each other apart from, hey, I'm Aladdin, I like to eat food. Hey, I'm Alibaba, I'm getting bossed around by this big fat bloke, he's a total dick. So yeah, that's about that. But like, it was good. I liked it on a whole because the animation was smooth. The way they introduced some of the minor characters, like, I forget that pink-haired girl's name. She's a slave girl. I forget her name. Like, she was introduced similarly to how she was introduced in the manga, where she was carrying a bunch of lemons. She trips over. Aladdin sees that she has chains. He's kind of naive, so he doesn't really realize that, the whole slave system, because it's set in kind of the Arabian Nights period. He breaks the chains, doesn't realize what he's done, blah blah blah. And yeah, well, that was good because like you didn't really know much about her, and then you get to learn more about her in the second episode, which I felt that was really well paced. But like with Alibaba and Aladdin's relationship, in fact, the first episode pretty much encompassed volumes 1, chapters 1 through 8 in about 20 minutes. I felt, but apart from my gripes on that, it was good. And like the characters were really interesting that they introduced. Like Alibaba was good, Aladdin was good, but the Lord Jamil, he is pretty insane. So he's the lord of this city that they're in, and he has slaves, and there's one of the slaves he called like a big burly guy called Goro or something, and he like when they were in the dungeon, because Aladdin and Alibaba had gone into the dungeon, and he had caught up with them with the pink-haired girl and Jamil and his bodyguard guy, and the bodyguard Alibaba manages to kind of evade the bodyguard, and Jamil just starts stabbing him. I'm like, he's like going on this whole trip about how he feels like he's given pittance compared to like the larger lords just to run the city, and how he has to work for slaves and slaves are beneath him, and blah 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 blah. And he's like really psychotic with it, like, but like he's kind of, but then he's like that for 1 minute and then he's calm the next, and he's rational, and he's a real businessman in the sense that he knows how to manipulate and use people, and it's weird and it's kind of wrong in a sense. And but like he was definitely an interesting character, and like I want to see how that his character develops throughout this series. And like one thing I will say about the manga, I only had the first volume, like I said, so when it finished, there is a scene in the anime where they're fighting this giant bug monster, these slimes, and it ends in the manga with Ugo fighting the slime, and it ended with that kind of typical, oh no, my power level is not enough to defeat this guy, what do I do? And I felt that was really awkward, so I couldn't really get a general feel for Magi, because it's only one issue. But I think after watching the first two episodes of Magi, I like the dynamic between Alibaba and Aladdin is great. I think they moved on from the whole we're kind of different but same too quickly, but I like the feel of the world. I like the setting, because when the whole slave thing was mentioned, it was powerful, but it wasn't to the point to was like in your face. Like, you get the point that there is this kind of hierarchy system, and that's the times they live in, and it does pull on you. But it did well to make sure it was all in balance. And I think really Magi is looking to be a very, very funny show. I don't know how many episodes the Japanese dub is. I watched the English dub. I don't know how many episodes that is in, but like from what I've seen, it's setting up to be really good, a really fun anime. It's really funny. It had me laughing out loud in some parts, genuinely. And I genuinely want to see where this goes. So I think as I watch the anime, and if I manage to find the manga somewhere, I'll definitely do some more reviews, things on that. So yeah, I think I talked here off for a bit too long now. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. D1 Radio, Monday at 12 to 1. Acent on Nerd Mounting is my radio show. Me and the guys on Yellowface did a little discussion video on Korra, so that link will be in the description to that. Check those out. And yeah, thank you guys for watching again, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.